Hi everyone. Hello. Hopefully this is working. Okay, good. I think it is. So, tonight I hope you're all cozied up in bed and ready to read this this book tonight. So, tonight we're going to read. Oh, my name's Laura, by the way. And tonight we're going to read The Story of Peter Rabbit. Wow. Do you guys know who Peter Rabbit is? Okay, let's find out who Peter Rabbit is. So, on the back it says, The Story of Peter Rabbit. The story of a naughty little bunny who steals vegetables from a farmer despite his mother's advice has been entertaining youngsters for over 100 years. Winsome watercolor paintings by artist Lisa McHugh bring fresh appeal to this classic of children's literature. Delicately abridged text preserves the charm and the flavor of the original story. So, do you guys know what that means? So, this book has been around for 100 years. How crazy is that? So, when I was a little kid, this book was around, and I'm nowhere near 100. I'm 21. So, can you believe that? So, guys, what this book is, they took the original book and now it has new pictures. How cool is that? Okay, how about we get into the book? Alright, okay. Story of Peter Rabbit. You guys think that's Peter on the cover? Okay, I want you guys to be able to see the pictures because they're new and beautiful. Okay. Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother in a sandbank, underneath the root of a very big fir tree. Okay, I'll bring it closer so you guys can see the picture. So, how many kids are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. And that looks like the mom. Okay. I like that they're all wearing different colors. Did you guys notice that too? Alright. I want to make sure that you guys can see this. Alright. Now, my dears, said old Mrs. Rabbit one morning, you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go in Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there, and he was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor. Run along and don't get into mischief. I'm going out. So Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail were good little bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. Here they are. You can see them. The good little bunnies. What's Peter doing? Where do you think Peter's gonna go? I think the 2 options that she said were to go into the fields or down the lane. Maybe he's going into the fields? I don't know. Oh. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away into Mr. McGregor's garden and squeezed under the gate. First he ate some lettuce and some French beans, and then he ate some radishes. And then, feeling rather sick, he went to look for some parsley. Peter, you weren't supposed to do that, right? He wasn't supposed to go to Mr. McGregor's garden. But round the end of a cucumber frame, Who should he meet but Mr. McGregor? Mr. McGregor was on his hands and knees planting out young cabbages when he jumped up and ran after Peter, waving a rake and calling out, "Stop, thief!" Peter was dreadfully frightened. He rushed all over the garden, for he had forgotten the way back to the gate. He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages, and the other shoe among the potatoes. Look, you can see Mr. McGregor. He's huge. He's huge. And little Peter's running away. There's one of his shoes. Looks like he hadn't lost the other one yet in the picture. What do you guys think's gonna happen? Is he gonna be able to make it out? Okay. He ran on 4 legs then and went faster. And he might have gotten away altogether if he had not run into a gooseberry net and got caught by the large buttons on his jacket. Make sure you guys can see it. Sorry. It was a blue jacket with brass buttons, quite new. Peter gave himself up for lost and cried. His sobs were overheard by some friendly sparrows who begged him to save himself. Mr. McGregor had a basket and was about to pop it on top of Peter, but Peter wriggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind. Whoa, there's the basket. What else do you guys see? What do you see on this page? Oh, this page, sorry. It's kind of backwards for me when I'm holding it up to the camera. Are those the sparrows? I think they are. Okay. Okay, let's see if you guys could see this. Sorry. Alright. He rushed into the tool shed and jumped into a watering can. It would have been the perfect hiding place if it had not had so much water in it. Oh no. Mr. McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in the tool shed, and he began to search it carefully. Then Peter sneezed. Kerchoo! And Mr. McGregor was after him in no time. Oh, look at Peter. Peter looks so cold in the water. Poor Peter. Okay. Peter was trembling with fright. Peter was trembling with fright, and he had not the least idea which way to go. He was also very damp from sitting in that can. He tried to find his way straight across the garden, but he became more and more puzzled. He came to a pond where a white cat was staring at some goldfish. There's the goldfish. Can you see them? She sat very still, but now and then the tip of her tail twitched as if it were alive. Peter thought it best to go away without speaking to her. He had heard about cats from his cousin, Benjamin Bunny. What do you guys think the cat would do if it saw Peter? Do you have a cat? I have a cat, and I think my cat would probably try to chase Peter. He turned back towards the tool shed when he heard the noise of a hoe. scratch, scratch, scritch. Peter scuttered beneath the bushes. When nothing happened, he came out and saw Mr. McGregor hoeing onions. His back was towards Peter, and behind him was the gate. Peter started running as fast as he could go. Mr. McGregor caught sight of him at the corner, but Peter did not care. He slipped underneath the gate and was safe at last in the wood outside the garden. He's free! You can see him squeezing under there. Mr. McGregor hung up the little jacket and the shoes for the scarecrow to frighten the blackbirds. Look, there's Peter's jacket that he lost. And there's his shoes. How many sparrows do you guys see? Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3. Good job. So Peter's free. Now what's going to happen? Peter didn't stop running till he got home to his big fir tree. He was so tired that he flopped down on the floor and shut his eyes. His mother was busy cooking. She wondered what he had done with his clothes. It was the second jacket and pair of shoes that Peter had lost in 2 weeks. Do you guys ever lose your clothes sometimes? I know sometimes when I lose my clothes, my mom isn't very happy because then she has to buy me some new clothes. So look, there's Peter Rabbit sleeping in the tree, and there's his siblings over here. And look, what do you guys think that his mom is making? She's got lots of carrots. Maybe some kind of stew? I don't know. Or like a soup? I don't know if we'll find out. Okay. Peter did not feel very well that evening. His mother put him to bed and gave him a dose of chamomile tea. 1 tablespoon to be taken at bedtime. But Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had bread and milk and blackberries for supper. So look at that. So it didn't end up being very good for Peter to disobey his mom. Because look he's all sick and getting taken care of when his siblings are eating blackberries and bread and milk. That's the end of the book, guys. So what was your favorite part of the book? My favorite part was when Peter got to go free from Mr. McGregor's farm. When he squeezed under the gate. I was so happy that he made it out. Well, I hope you guys have a great night, and I can't wait to see you again on here soon. Let me know in the comments below your favorite part of the book. Okay, guys, good night. Sweet dreams.